Hello and welcome to the Aspire Sports Show. I'm your host, Giggs. It is Wednesday, January 6th. We got an 11-game NBA slate we're going to be breaking down today. I'm joined alongside, we're with Beto and Gordon. So we got a new guest here tonight. Beto, you want to say hello to everybody?
Hey everyone, how's it going? Excited to be on here. Giggs, I appreciate the friendly invite.
Yes, of course. Couldn't miss an opportunity to break down a nice, juicy NBA slate here. So we got 11 games, so we'll go ahead and get right into it. First one I have here is Cleveland versus Orlando. Orlando's -5.5. The over-under is 215. That's one of the lower over-unders on this slate. It's got to be bottom three, I think. We know Okoro was trying to come back here. I think he's ruled out now. We know there's no Garland, no Kevin Love. So Cleveland, they're really shorthanded here. Fournier, still game time decision. Are you saying he's trying to play, Gordon? Is that what you said earlier?
Fournier said he's trying to play tonight. They said he's going to try to play.
All right. So Fournier looks like he is playing. We know Michael Carter-Williams is out. Obviously, they still don't have Jonathan Isaac. James Ennis is out. So, Gordon, who do you like in this game? Are you going to be playing anyone from this one?
I'm not going to force anybody from this game into my lineup. If things fit naturally and I can get maybe Fultz or Sexton in my lineup. Sexton's peripherals don't do it for me. That last game, I feel like he's got a tough matchup. And when he tries to play point guard, he kind of forces the ball a lot. Did we say that Dante Exum's out too?
No, I forgot to mention that. Exum's
out too. So if I'm going to go anybody this game, I probably would go Seti from Cleveland. And from Orlando, it just depends on the Fournier news. If Fournier's out, I'm going to go Fultz. He hasn't been shooting the best, but I would have no mind taking in a couple lineups at his price. But what about you two? What do you think, Vito? You like anybody in this game?
One guy that has kind of stuck out to me, I really didn't expect him to be much of a contributor, but he played near 30 minutes the last time these two teams played. It's Damian Dotson, 16 points. With some of the injuries, you could get something out of him. I think it's around 3,800. I don't know. He's a 3-and-D guy, but just with the amount of time he could get out on the floor.
Yeah.
I could see him maybe just being a value play, but there's no one that really jumps out. I don't know if I'd necessarily pay the price on Andre Drummond tonight on the Cleveland side of things. But yeah, this was what was it a couple days ago? Magic won by like 20, I want to say. So I'm really not too intrigued by this matchup given all the other games we got today.
So Fournier just got ruled out.
Okay, so Fournier is out. That's good for Terrence Ross. We know there's no Michael Carter-Williams, so maybe more Cole Anthony tonight. We know Fultz has been playing decent minutes, and I'm with you, Beto. I think Dotson is someone you got to look at. Minimum salary on Fanduel, you're right. He's very cheap. He's probably going to be in the starting lineup, and as long as he's getting 30 minutes on the court, they're going to need someone to give him buckets. And I watched a good bit of that last game. He seemed heavily involved. Sexton doesn't really fill it up with assists and rebounds. We know he's more of a scorer. So I think Dotson has a chance here to not just get points, but get some rebounds, get some assists. So at 3,500, I think that's an excellent look here. It's probably one of my favorite plays in this game. I'm going to have a little bit of Fultz just because I'm very bullish on Fultz this year. I'm just waiting for him to have a breakout game. So I'll have some shares of him. And, I mean, I was looking at Sexton, but I just think we can do better at shooting guard in this one. So Fournier being out is big.
They got him and Nance priced up. Even Aaron Gordon, I know he gets the usage. Last couple games with Fournier out, he's priced up. I like other guys cheaper tonight. So I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't know if Gordon's going to have as good of a game as he did last time, but 6,400, I guess he's an all right play.
I mean, he hit six. He went 6 and 9 from the 3-point line. If he does that again, I deserve to get burned.
I don't see that happening again. So that's probably someone I'm not gonna be looking at here. But Yeah, let's go ahead and look at the next game. This should be a good one. We have Houston at Indiana. Indiana's -2 right now, and the over-under on this game is 225.5. Christian Wood, he popped up as game-time decision. We know that TJ Warren is out, so that benefits the Holiday brothers. I'm looking at Holiday, Justin, not Aaron, at small forward position. I think that's a really strong cash play, maybe some GPP upside here. I think Sabonis looks real good as a cash guy. I might have him in a couple of my GPP lineups just because I think if there was no Christian Wood, this should be a really easy matchup for him. And I know Brogdon's been real hot and you want to go to him, but that price at 8,200, it might be a little too high for me, but I do expect him to have a strong game. So I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 35, 40 FanDuel points tonight. And then Victor Oladipo, I think, is also a really strong play at 7,200. I would take him over Sexton here. I think he can get, somewhere between 35, 40 FanDuel points easily. He had 42 last game. So high over under. This is a pace up for the Pacers. So Beto, is there anyone that sticks out in this game? Do you like James Harden in this one? Do you like John Wall? Do you like anyone in this one on the Houston side or Indiana side?
On the Houston side, not so much. You mentioned Brogdon. That is a price. I don't know how comfortable people would be paying that. I mean, he's obviously been shooting lights out for Indiana, who are 5-2. I was not too surprised, obviously. Not that home field advantage, court advantage has really played really in any factor. I think I saw the other day that road teams may have been winning more at a higher rate than ever before, of course, without any fans. The 2.5 is intriguing for me because I know Houston just played Dallas recently. They're back on the road. There's been a lot of talk around James Harden, obviously, this year, and the trade whispers, is he in shape and everything else, but he still has been able to go out there, play James ball, get his. And I don't know. There's just something about this matchup. Indiana's vulnerable. We saw the Knicks beat them in a come from behind fashion in this past weekend. I don't think the 2.5 is that big of a number that's going to make me feel comfortable with Indiana that I would almost lean the Rockets getting the road win, maybe even going money line, whatever that would be tonight. But DFS wise, there's really no one on Houston that really catches my eye. And you guys kind of covered the Indiana part of things with Justin Holiday potentially having a big night.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that is kind of bullshit that they're giving him -2. I'm not so sure that Indiana is as strong as a team as they say, but Houston's also a big question mark. I know that game against Dallas, Luka Doncic, he had a coming out party. He seems to be back into the form, but I don't know. I still consider Harden titties over titles right now. I still think he's going to get traded. I still think he's going to go out there and get buckets. That's for sure. But we'll see what happens in this one. I'm with you that Houston, when they're playing their ball, and John Wall's look real good. So if DeMarcus Cousins could actually start getting meaningful minutes and keep a level head out there, I think Houston's legit. I don't know if they're going to actually come out of the West and contend for championship, but they're an interesting team. But I still think Harden's going to get moved. I think there's a lot of question marks with this team. I saw David Nwaba coming up as a value play in this game. I'm trying to figure out why. I don't know if that has to do with Christian Wood's game time decision, but Gordon, are you looking at anybody in this one? Do you like anybody on Houston? Do you like anyone on Indiana in this one?
Even if Christian Wood gets ruled out, I like other places. I like other people more tonight. Again, if this was like a slate like last night, someone's out for like Christian Wood with the usage rate, I would definitely get some shares of those other guys. But I like more value anywhere than having some dart throws in a game. I never really liked Houston this year in DFS. Christian Wood was already coming in on a big bust for me tonight from what I was looking at. But who I do like the most from this game is Domantas Sabonis. He's at 8,800. He's now cheaper than Julius Randle. I don't see anybody on Houston that can guard him.
No, Sabonis should feast. That's someone I really like with no Christian Wood. I just don't see them stopping him.
I mean, Sabonis has triple-double potential. He can get assists. He can get rebounds. He's going to get his points. I like him for player props tonight. I feel like the rebounds are just going to be so easy in the games where they're faster paced. He's going to get a lot of easy rebounds. And again, even if Christian Wood plays, he's not the best defender. But I don't see Daniel House guarding Sabonis. So the player I'll have the most exposure from this game is definitely going to be Sabonis. maybe a little Old Depot, but I doubt it. I don't like those guys' prices. I like other guys on a slate. But if we're going player props, I do like Sabonis a lot tonight.
And Tyler, does it hurt as a Pistons fan? I know a lot hurts as a Pistons fan, but to see, I mean, you kind of got a glimpse of him last year with Christian Wood. Does it hurt to see him thriving elsewhere, or was this kind of par for the course of what you'd expect?
No, I'm actually very happy that Christian Wood was able to get out of a franchise like the Detroit Pistons to the Houston Rockets, where, they've shown recent success. They've been able to make the playoffs. They can make noise. So Detroit, that's not what's going on there. When you sink a bunch of money into an agent, Blake Griffin, and you let Christian Wood go away, that just goes to show where the franchise is at, especially when you trade Andre Drummond for a player that you drafted years prior, Brandon Knight. So all the moves that Detroit makes are just laughable. And that's why
I didn't hear that last part.
When the Pistons traded Andre Drummond for a player they drafted like a few years back, Brandon Knight. They traded Andre Drummond like a second-round pick for Brandon Knight, or got Brandon Knight and some second-round picks. Like, I'm sorry. I like what they did in the draft. I'll say that. But at the end of the day, me and the bad boys, I'll always love the Pistons, but compared to like the Chauncey Billups or Isaiah Thomas team, like this franchise has just gone downhill. So we got Jimmy Casket in the chat saying, hi, what's up, Jimmy? See, it looks like you're a Green Bay fan. Go Packers. Go NFC North. I'm all about the NFC North in the playoffs this year. I don't care if it's the Bears or the Packers who win it, but this NFL playoff, guys, I'm telling you, it's going to be the Super Bowl. We're going to find out like Patrick Mahomes or someone has COVID, and it's just going to be a massacre.
They would still let him play.
They're going to say, fuck it, get him out there. Too much money. All right. Let's look at this next one. Actually, real quick, Gordon, who do you have winning this game? Do you like Indiana minus 2.5? Do you like Houston plus 2.5? Who would you take?
Well, I wrote down all the spreads pretty early today, around noon, maybe a little earlier, and they had Indiana minus 1.5. So that means that people are pounding Indiana. I don't believe in Houston this year. I still think they got some working to go. I just think the Sabonis has a very big night. And Pacers play some good on-ball defense. There's Brogdon and Oladipo are very good defenders. So I like Indiana tonight. I will be taking them. I will be taking Domantas Sabonis double-double and Indiana win, and Sabonis 12-plus rebounds and Indiana win in this.
So I don't know what the odds are, but I'm feeling a Sabonis triple-double tonight. So I'm going to say if you want to make a goofy bet there, I'd say I like Sabonis for a triple-double, and I'm going to go Indiana. I'm not going to do the -2. I would just go money line, but I like Indiana's squad right now. Victor Oladipo looks like he's in full health. If they had TJ Warren, I definitely would like Indiana in this game, but yeah, I'm not going to be on the Houston train this year. I'm not a believer.
Harden's my least favorite player.
This should be a good game.
Harden is my least favorite player in the NBA this year.
Yeah, a little upset with how he acted. It was kind of a smack in the face. But let's go ahead and check out the next game on the slate. This one's got the highest over-under. We got Washington at Philadelphia. Philadelphia's minus 6.5. The over-under is 235. Just about everyone's healthy in this game. Philadelphia might be without Mike Scott, so that may be the only guy missing. In this game, we have the confirmed lineup for Washington. It's going to be Westbrook, Bradley Beal, Denny Avdija, Rui Hachimura, and Thomas Bryant. So, Gordon, I'll start with you. Is there anyone you're looking at in this game that you want to play tonight for FanDuel?
I know that the over-under is very high, but I'm going to have little exposure to this game. Like the Washington guys are priced up. Beal's at 10K. Russell's at right around 10K, 10.7. We knew that was going to happen, right? Thomas Bryant, he's now 6,800. Those prices are too high for me. The person I like the most from this game is Ben Simmons. I think he comes in relatively lower owned, triple-double potential every time. He's 8,700. So I like him more than Ben Simmons, John Wall, Brogdon. I take Ben Simmons over that, even with the 500 price range. So I will have exposure to Ben Simmons tonight. I think he has a very good game tonight.
I agree. I like Ben Simmons at 8,700. It'll be nice too. That's one of the first games, so I think he's going to start pouring in points early. Beto, have you looked at this game at all for DFS? Is there anyone you like in this one?
Yeah, one name that's kind of jumps out at me, definitely healthy at this point. Thomas Bryant at the center position. I think he's about 6,800, which may be a little bit higher than maybe some would be comfortable with. But he is averaging, I think, close to 30 on the year. I know it's not a huge sample size, but he's getting the production, he's getting the minutes, and he's a capable rebounder, and he's becoming a capable. And he really was heading into this year too for Washington, a new look Wizard squad with Westbrook there. He seems to be more of a proven commodity after each game. So you might be looking other areas at center today, but compared to Joel Embiid, 9,900, one of the best centers obviously in the league. It's about 3,000 less. And I think even if it is in garbage time in Philly tonight, I think Bryant will show out. And the only other name I saw that it would be kind of just a low salary play if you just needed to throw a guy in there would be either Seth Curry, 5,200, or Danny Green. I think he's close to 3,000. He's at small forward, 3,900. So not really any particular reason. I just kind of like their perimeter game against a Washington team has kind of been vulnerable to that early on this year. So nothing flashy. I agree with the Simmons being probably a really good play tonight. But Bryant, I would say, would be the guy that jumps out the most to me looking at both sides.
Yeah, I like Thomas Bryant. I'm a little concerned with foul trouble with Joel Embiid, but he's hit 40 points, I think, twice now in the past 3 games. So at 6,800, that's value. That'd be big if he could hit 40 here tonight. Of course, it's going to be a fast-paced game. Again, highest over/under. So I think you do want a little bit of exposure, but I'm with you, Gordon. I think especially Bradley Beal, his price has gotten up there now. I know he's having a great season, but at 10,000, I think you can do better at shooting guard tonight. Russell Westbrook, always a strong cash play. Just waiting for him to have one of those 30, 10, and 15 nights, where he gets you 70 Fanduel points. Once he does that, I mean, if you have him on that night, the price is going to shoot up. So I should take that back. His price is probably only going to keep going up the stronger he plays. I'm with you, Beto. I think Washington has proven they are very, very vulnerable defense. So I think Philadelphia has their way tonight. I think Joel Embiid is going to eat them up inside. So if you want to pay up at center, I know Andre Drummond is sitting there at 9,500. We aren't very big on Cleveland players tonight, especially with a blowout potential. So I think you can look at Joel Embiid at 9,900. Strong for cash, strong for GPP. Tobias Harris, his price has been jacked up, but again, I think he's a strong cash guy. He didn't play as many minutes last game because they started blowing out Charlotte, but I still like him tonight. If you want exposure, I think Philadelphia is the safe bet here, but I can understand some Thomas Bryant, maybe some Rui Hachimura. And if you want to play Westbrook for cash or GPP, I'm all about it. So that does it for that.
Tyler, real quick.
Go ahead.
Another reason why I really like Ben Simmons tonight is Philly's a very good defensive team. Washington likes to run the floor a lot, which causes a lot of turnovers. Steals 3 points. Ben Simmons is a very good defender in transition, so I can see him a lot of tip steals. I mean, if he puts his hand on it first and someone else grabs it, that's still his steal. So I really like Ben Simmons tonight. He's gonna make a lot of my lineups at that price tag. Like I said, I like Thomas Bryant too. I just like players like Clint Capella more, but I will have some shares of Thomas Bryant just because he has been playing so well. So I agree with you too on that.
Yeah, and I'm going to throw one more out there real quick. I was listening to a couple podcasts today talking about potential plays for this slate, and I was thinking about him, and the one guy mentioned him, Tyrese Maxey, who looked really good last game, and if he gets meaningful minutes, he's at minimum salary at shooting guard. So maybe if you have a Dotson lineup, you can make another one with Tyrese Maxey. He looked good, so I just want to throw him out there as a possible dart throw on tonight's slate. Maybe he can get 20, 25. And help you take down one of these GPP tournaments. But anyone else from this game, guys? Probably not. All right.
No.
Let's go to the next one here. We got Boston at Miami. Miami's -3. The over-under is 218.5. And we know Kemba's still out. Marcus Smart, Jeff Teague, they both have game time decision tags next to them. Both of them ruled in.
Out. That just came out.
All right. So that's big news here. Marcus Smart playing is big. You said he's ruled out, or Smart and Teague out, right?
Correct.
So I was going to say if Teague and Smart were out, Pritchard kind of looks like one of the go-to plays on this slate at point guard. We know he had a really good game last game with both of them hurt. And I think we called that on this show, didn't we, Gordon? If I'm not mistaken.
Big time.
Some people were saying, no, you didn't call that, but we did. So, that's big news. I think Marcus Smart's a fine play then if he's going to be in this one. I like his salary. I think he's fine. Gordon, is there anyone you're going to be playing in this game? Are you looking at Miami? Or are you looking at Boston?
And I know I talk about on the podcast where I like the games where there's good teams playing because they're close games, chance for overtime. With this game, Fanduel threw us a little wrench. They moved Smart to point guard, Brown to shooting guard, Jimmy Butler to small forward, Tyler Hero to shooting guard. So if you are strapped for cash and you can't get Kobe White into your lineup if you like him a lot or someone up there, Marcus Smart's not a bad player. He gets the peripherals, he gets the usage. I don't think him coming off an ankle injury, I still see him seeing mid-30 minutes. So I don't see that changing. But this does put me – I don't like Tatum. I don't like Brown at that price. Those dudes could still go off, but with Smart coming back, that usage rate, he's gonna be the point guard, especially with Kemba out. So honestly, I might have Smart, maybe Jimmy Butler. If only the money lines up, I'm not building my lineup around them. But this might be a cross-off game for me tonight. What do you feel about this, Beto?
Well, one name kind of jumps out to me, and I compare him to who he'll be going up against, who's kind of gotten himself into the MVP conversation early, in Jason Tatum. I see Jimmy Butler, $1,300 less, a guy that has obviously battled ankle injury in the early part of the season. It seems like a buy low opportunity. I wouldn't be necessarily shocked if he outperforms Tatum tonight. Coming off a 33.9 in just 25 minutes. I got to think that minute increase could be upped in this game. He played 35 in the opener against the Magic, and since then, 16 minutes. Then he missed a couple games, 26 minutes, 25 minutes. He's the guy in Miami, obviously, and I think he's someone that tonight in a stage against a team that some are already dubbing, the team to beat in the East, even though I think the East is incredibly wide open, and we might not know those answers until the second half of the season after the trading deadline. But Jimmy would be somebody that I would be rolling with tonight. And then on the season long side of things, for anyone that does play season long fantasy, a name that has kind of gained some momentum, especially on the blocks avenue, is Robert Williams. He's really been getting it done, and he's only 4,600 tonight as well, averaging over 22 points per game with Fanduel this year. He's someone that maybe if you have an extra bench spot to take a flyer on in the season long, but even tonight, just with like the blocks kind of averaging around 18, 19 minutes per game, I could see him maybe exploit a little bit down in the post tonight. But yeah, Butler for the daily fantasy, and then like I said, if any season long guys out there, Robert Williams is someone that you might want to at least put on your watch list moving forward.
Definitely put Williams on your watch list, because if Daniel Tice or Thompson were to go down with significant injuries, I think Robert Williams immediately has like top 50, top 60 for category league potential. And I think he'd be good for points too, because he's getting defensive stats. So Robert Williams, definitely someone to put on your radar. But how about Kelly Olynyk? Put that guy on your radar. If he's out there, if you're in a 12, 14-man league, you need to scoop him right now. I find it hard to believe if you're in like a 12 or 14-man league that you don't have someone you could drop for him right now, because they're giving him minutes. He's getting like 27, 28 minutes a game now, and he's actually one of my favorite plays on this slate. He's coming in at 5,100 at the power forward position. I think that he's good for 25 to 30. So strong cash, strong GPP play. I kind of like what you're saying about Butler. If he could play like 35 minutes, I think for sure he hits value, probably crushes value, because he knows how important this game is. It's early in the season, right? I understand that if Miami loses or Boston loses, it's not screwing up playoff implications or anything, but he's a dog. He's going to want to come in this game. He's going to want to punch Boston in the mouth. Boston's definitely going to be upset because they're the ones who got bumped by Miami last year. So I like this game a lot. I think it's going to be a fun one to watch. And I do expect Jimmy Butler to give it his all tonight. So I think Jason Tatum is definitely in play here as well. Just because even though he's at he's like 9,100, if I'm correct, let me make sure, 9,400. So he got a little bit of a price bump, but 2 games in a row now over 55 FanDuel points. So that looks about right to me. I think if you want to play him, I know it's going to be a tough defensive matchup, but they're going to go to Tatum big time, and I like him in this one. But not so much outside of those guys.
Tatum's coming in at relatively low ownership tonight too, which is all.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a good guy to play tonight if you're trying to be a little contrarian or, catch someone before he hits 10K, because we know that without Gordon Hayward now, we already saw Jaylen Brown get that huge spike because he had that 40-point performance. But once Tatum really starts turning it on, because he has that thumb injury, I know he's not coming up with a game-time decision tag next to his name, but he's probably still nursing that thumb injury. And once he feels 100%, I'm sure he's going to just start balling out here, kind of like he did against Toronto. But let's go ahead and look at the next one here. This is another high over-under on this slate. We have Charlotte Hornets. They're at Atlanta, and Atlanta's -6. The over-under on this game is 232.5. We know that Cody Zeller's out. He's getting closer to his return. He should be back within a week. Gallinari, he's ruled out. Rondo is out. Bogdanovich was game-time decision. I'm not quite sure if that has changed yet.
They said Bogdanovich looked like he was going to play.
All right, so Bogdanovich looks like he's going to play.
He is playing. Cleared to play.
Cleared to play. Not in this. Doesn't look like he's going to be in the starting lineup. It looks like the Hawks are going to run Trae Young, Cam Reddish, DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, Clint Capella, and then Charlotte's going to be running Devontae Graham, Rozier, Gordon Hayward, PJ Washington, and Biyombo. So I'm going to go ahead and break this game down real quick for you guys because I really, really, really like this game. I really love John Collins. I think that price is great. I think Clint Capella's price is great. PJ Washington, even. I think he's coming in at a good price because this is going to be a fast-paced game for Charlotte. I think that's how they want to play too with Ball. I think that's Ball's just a guy who he's good at game flow, and if it's fast-paced, he sees things before other people. So I think they're going to play a very up-tempo game here with Atlanta. So I think Ball's in play. The price is definitely getting up there, but if he can hit 40 points, that's value. So maybe more so cash. If he was starting, I'd like it even more. But we have Devontae Graham coming in here. He's cheap tonight. So I think he's at like 5,100 on FanDuel. And I know on previous videos I talked about how when Ball's on the court, it seems like Graham's the one who goes to the bench. They don't play side-by-side as much as Rozier and Ball. I still like him tonight because if his shot starts falling, I think he can easily hit value. So not someone I'm incredibly bullish on, but definitely popping out on this, as one of the players I like at the shooting guard position tonight. I think Gordon Hayward could have a good game. I know he's a little bit pricey, but I think he could have a 40, 50-point game tonight. So I'm bullish on him. I'm not looking at Biyombo, but I think Capella, Collins, maybe even Hunter. He's playing lights out ball. I think we can do a little bit better at small forward, but if you really like Hunter, I'm for it. And then Trae Young, I think he's definitely in play at 9,400. Gordon, I'll start with you. Is there anyone I missed on this one that you're going to look at, or do you disagree with anyone that I'm talking about on this slate?
No, I think you covered that exactly how I would. I mean, we didn't even talk about this game earlier in the day like we usually do, but I'm with you on every single thing. So there's nothing you can get from me. It's the same thing, honestly. I think you did a really good job covering this game.
How about you? Anything that's sticking out for this game that you're liking? Maybe someone I missed here?
Well, just kind of echoing what you said about Hunter for Atlanta. He's someone who I watched him a lot in the game his last time out against the Knicks, which they blew a lead in the fourth quarter. He's looking more and more comfortable on the floor. And he's someone that I don't know. Is there another leap he can take over these next few months where he becomes even more of a prominent player? We'll wait and see. But I do like the matchup tonight for him, and a little bit further down the small forward. And I know, there are a lot of different options tonight, but Cam Reddish at just 4,600. One thing I like with him is his floor. He plays, his minute production is there. He's going to get 25, 30 minutes per game. And he laid an egg 2 games ago against Cleveland in 23 minutes, just 2 points, 2 boards, 1 assist. And he wasn't the best against the Knicks, so it could be a buy low opportunity if you just need to fill a guy at small forward. And one thing I will say, just looking at the line, I'm seeing 6 in favor of the Hawks. I like them tonight. I wouldn't be shocked if they won by double digits. It's kind of a bounce back after that kind of blown lead against the Knicks. And the Hornets, I know there's going to be some growing pains there. LaMelo Ball's, he's shown glimpses. But this is a team that I think is just still finding themselves. And they've gotten minutes out of Biyombo, and it's funny how he's back there and he's actually contributing to an extent. But I just think top to bottom, Atlanta, the better team, they get it done. And I don't think some of their guys who've struggled the past couple of games will do so tonight at home.
I think I'll be having a lot of John Collins I'm not going to be scared to play John Collins and Clint Capella in the same lineup.
Yeah, don't be scared.
You know what? And I hate to say this, I don't know the coach's name for Atlanta, but he's doing a hell of a job with that team.
Yeah, they're such a great young core, like Trae Young, Cam Reddish, Hunter. If you just look at their starting lineup, it's incredibly young. And I mean, I said it last show. I'm incredibly bullish on DeAndre Hunter. I think he's like a Kawhi Leonard light. I really do. I think he can become an elite level defender. And when he has confidence in his jump shot, he just seems like he can knock it down from anywhere. He can get his own shot. I just really like his style of play. And I think they have a stud at small forward in DeAndre Hunter. So that young core, if Cam Reddish takes the next step, sky's the limit for that team. I'm very excited for them. I want to put a futures bet down for like 2023, 2024 NBA Finals. It's going to be the Atlanta Hawks against the Memphis Grizzlies.
Pushing it back a year.
I'm doing that because the Grizzlies, man, they're pissing me off. They're supposed to take a step forward, but Ja Morant ankle. I hope Ja gets better soon. That guy, he's one of the best players in the league right now.
Oh, Ja is going to be so exciting to watch. And I'm a big Cam Reddish guy. 6'8", 6'9" wing, could score from everywhere on the court. Those don't come along too often. Maybe the last one that came along, it even pains me to even put him in the same breath as him is Tracy McGrady.
Hey, maybe Cam Reddish can be the next T-Mac. Who knows? I would like to see Cam Reddish take a step forward. I'll say that because I feel like if their weakest link right now is the shooting guards / small forward position, but I think DeAndre Hunter's got that covered now. So it's just that shooting guard spot. So if Cam Reddish does take that step forward and he can become more than like a middle tier shooting guard, I don't think there is a weakness in their starting lineup. And
let me know when he scores 13 points in 33 seconds. All right.
Yeah.
33 seconds.
That was pretty
that was
insane.
Amazing. What was that? Houston against who were they playing?
San Antonio.
Yeah.
What's crazy, at the end of that game, the score was like 79-78. I'd be pissed if I'd have stacked that game.
If he didn't have so many injuries, he'd be one of the greats. And on a better team.
Oh, absolutely. Vince Carter's cousin.
He was still able to get a first-round pick when he was well past his prime, too. I remember the Knicks gave up Jordan Hill and a first-round pick for him, and that didn't work out. But it's funny, Ty, because the Hawks did so much in the offseason with their bench, and you got guys like Rondo, Chris Dunn, and Gallinari are all out. So it's still – I really liked what they did this offseason, but in the short term, it's the young guys that will need to carry him. But I do like their long-term window.
Yeah, the only thing that scares me is they didn't extend John Collins. So I don't know if they have plans to get him out of there or they don't want to pay him, but I really hope they keep him because he's actually like him and Trae Young. I like them equally probably. They're like two of my favorite players in the league right now. But enough of my boner for the Atlanta Hawks. All right, let's move on to the next one. We got Utah. They're coming off a back-to-back. They're playing the New York Knicks, Utah is minus 7.5. The over-under on this one is 213.5, which is tied for the lowest over-under on the slate. We know that Alex Burks is out. Beto, well, I'll go to you since this is your team. Anyone you like in Fanduel, who would you be taking in Sportsbook? Who are you betting on?
The line is what? Utah -6?
I had minus 7.5 unless it's moving.
Okay. Well, I would definitely think there would be some negative corrections for the Knicks tonight. Coming back after a big road trip. They're kind of playing outside of themselves now, and kind of the poster child for that has been Julius Randle. It still doesn't quite make that much sense to me, but he has been really not to say unstoppable, but he's up to $9,000 to DFS, 45 points per game, FanDuel points per game, of course, averaging a near triple-double. And Tibbs has clearly gotten a lot out of him, but I think in a game that he just had a monster performance against the Hawks that you could see that kind of come back down. So I'd be wary of that $9,000 price with Julius Randle. The Jazz obviously lost to the Nets just last night. So to see them going 0-2 in a New York trip, granted there's no crowd, I don't know. I like the Jazz tonight, and I'm not just saying that as a dejected Knicks fan. One guy, though, that kind of I would just put on your radar, you look at Emmanuel Quickly. He's obviously been a hot commodity. The first-round pick out of Kentucky. He's at 3,700. His partner in the fourth quarter in the backcourt, Austin Rivers, for whatever reason, and it's kind of proven for the Knicks these past couple of games, they've been throwing out Quickly and Rivers for almost the entire fourth quarter. So they get a lot of minutes in crunch time. Both are at 37 tonight, and I know you can do a lot better at point guard, but if you're just trying to fill a spot, those are two guys that I would maybe look at, but I'm more enticed with the Jazz end of things tonight. Guys like Mike Conley at 7,000, and then even the price at 8,200 for Rudy Gobert. I know he's up against Mitch Robinson, but I think Gobert has a big night tonight. Last night against the Nets, he had in 27 minutes, 33 points, 10 points, 11 boards. So I like Gobert and Conley tonight, guys. And like I said, I think the Jazz get the win on the road, and the Knicks kind of come back down to earth a little bit, much as I hate to say it.
Yeah, that line's actually moved to -8 Utah. So looks like people like Utah. But Gordon, who do you like in this game? Are you playing anyone from either side?
I'm gonna keep going to RJ Barrett, for Peyton. As long as the players are out, they're gonna get the minutes. I've watched a lot of the Knicks games this year. Tibbs really has been playing good basketball. I'm a fan of the Knicks, which is crazy to even think about. I enjoy watching them play. But I like Alfred Payton. I like RJ Barrett. I'll probably lean more Sabonis with Julius Randle because he's a little bit cheaper. But I wouldn't mind. I'm not gonna. If I have every single lineup with Sabonis, I'll change some to Randle so I don't get sunk because it seems like Indiana. He has a better matchup. Christian Wood just got ruled out, so I know I talked about Sabonis again, not to harp on him again, but I'm going to be heavy on Sabonis, and if there's a blowout, I will switch up and get some Julius Randle just so I don't sink myself. If Sabonis only gets 35 points and they win by 20, he doesn't play in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, so we did highlight that earlier that he was game time decision, now ruled out. So that is big news with Christian Wood. If you had him in your lineups, you're going to want to change that. So in other news, Isaac Okoro all of a sudden is playing. He is also starting. So I want to make note of that. Dwayne Dotson is no longer in the starting lineup. It's going to be Isaac Okoro and C.D. Osman. So I don't like Dotson as much if he's not starting. So that's something
starting, I don't like him.
Yeah, that's not something I like as much anymore. So unfortunately, I have a shit ton of lineups with him, and that's something I'm going to have to change. But
in 20 minutes, don't you love those types of slates?
Yeah, this we're really going to be sweating this one out. We got a couple more games we got to cover too. So,
but real quick, just to touch on that, even with Christian Wood being out, no one from Houston pops off the page for me. I don't like Wall's price. I hate Harden. I already said that again. I'll say it again. I hate Harden. Eric Gordon, 5,800. I like Otto Porter more. I'm not going to play PJ Tucker because even if he gets the shots, he's so inconsistent. And then DeMarcus Cousins could get thrown out within 3 minutes again just because he wants to go play some video games. Who knows what he's up to. but I'm not big on Houston at all tonight.
Yeah. So just to wrap up this Knicks game, Randall, I understand why people want to play him. I think it's a fine play, but again, temper expectations against Utah. The price is getting up there. Elfrid Payton, I definitely think is in play. RJ Barrett, someone I'm going to have a lot of exposure to. Mitch Robinson, I'll have a couple with him in there. I'm scared of Rudy Gobert kind of bullying him and then getting him in foul trouble or something. But Mitch Robinson's getting the minutes. If he gets the minutes, he gets the points. So someone I'm going to consider.
And Nerlens Noel didn't play last game, and he might not play tonight. I mean, Tibbs has been keeping like an 8-man rotation. So, Ryan, you're right. Like, they will give – those guys will get minutes. Starters or just the bench contributors. So in terms of volume, the volume may be there for those guys.
And again with them, I definitely should have mentioned this. Louis Randle's number 1 in the league for minutes per game. RJ Barrett's number 2. So Tibbs plays his guys. We say it every night that the Bulls are on. Tibbs plays his guys. That Bulls might not have the best roster from top to bottom, but they will compete every night. I watched that entire game last night, and it seems like those players love to play for him. So I when we get to that game, I'm going to be all over that compared to other players.
He's even got Kevin Knox not even shooting them. I mean, just 3 shots last game. Jury's still out on Kevin Knox. I'm not a fan, but he's at least getting him to not throw up bricks, which is a positive from where he's been the past 2 years.
But Tibbs with the Knicks, Billy Donovan with Chicago, they're going to play their guys. Those are my 2 favorite teams tonight to pick from. So I'm going to be heavy on both those teams.
I'm in agreement with you guys. I that's what I would do as well. I'm just so pissed off. I had Dotson in so many lineups, and I know I have to change all this now. I might just quick play replace with Maxey and say fuck it. Let's look at this next one though. We got Detroit at Milwaukee. Milwaukee's -12. These teams just played each other 2 days ago. Over under is 226.5. Blake Griffin is playing in this one. There's a little bit to like in this game. I'm probably not going to be playing Blake Griffin. I don't think I'm going to Plumlee. I think Grant looks okay. Chris Middleton was moved to small forward. I think we can do a little bit better than him in this one in case of a blowout. Some people really like Giannis. They said Detroit kept it close, so go back to Giannis. Unless Giannis gets you 60 points in the first 3 quarters, I don't see Detroit keeping this one close again. Just because Blake Griffin's back does not move the needle whatsoever for me. I think Derrick Rose is a little interesting at 6,000 because he came out and had a pretty good game last time. DiVincenzo with Pat Connaughton out looks like he gets heavy minutes even in a blowout, so I wouldn't be surprised if he got 25, 30 points in this one. Holiday has looked like a really solid play just about all year. Price is now moving up. It's getting a little pricey for me, but I still think he's a relatively safe, like cash play, maybe some GPP upside, but we still have to figure out, where's Holiday's price going to land? Because if it gets up to like the 8,000s, we're definitely staying away from that, but it's creeping up there right now. We want him in the low 6,000s, the mid 6,000s. That's the money spot right there. Maybe Brook Lopez. I don't like Bobby Portis in this one. I thought he would have got more minutes last game, and he did not. So, if I was going to go with one of the big men, I would go with Brook Lopez in this one. Guys, I'll start with you, Bito. Is there anyone you like in this game?
Well, quickly, it's funny. I mean, I don't think you're in a good position with either Lopez or Portis. You're kind of taking a risk, but I almost lean more towards Portis. I mean, I know he just had over 20 minutes, just 22 last game, but he's somebody, especially if, the Bucks pull ahead and maybe for that second half that I could see getting some extra burn. He's hovered around about 25 minutes per game, and he's a very frustrating player on a lot of different avenues, but he's someone that can give you the production on the glass and clean it up. And just for maybe a cheaper play, someone that I would keep an eye on. But to be honest with you, I usually don't like to do this, but I'm loving Giannis tonight. I know it's 11,400, but I just see him having an absolute game. And I know that's a lot to allocate towards one player, but he's coming off that 43-point night against the Pistons, just back on the 4th. Yeah, minutes are concerned if they make it a blowout after 3 quarters. But he's someone I would have no problem just firing out tonight. And other than that, looking at the guard position, you mentioned Holiday. He's been fairly good to start off this season. There's no one that really jumps out on the page except for DiVincenzo for the Bucks. 4,800, as you said, Ty. had 29 minutes against the Pistons last time out, 31.5 Fanduel points. I don't know. I think he's kind of found his niche with the Bucks, and he's someone that I would be fairly comfortable playing for 4,800 tonight.
How about you, Gordon? How do you feel about this game?
So with this game, what I was looking at is obviously, I know when we get to that game, Buddy Hield's going to be very highly played. He's coming in from what I'm seeing as a second highest owned player. And DiVincenzo, from what I'm seeing, he's sitting about 6%, around the same price. I'm going to go contrarian. I will have some DiVincenzo in my lineup for that sake. And I definitely agree with you, Beto. Giannis is in a smash spot, and he's coming under 10% owned. I don't think it's easy to pass up. He could hit a 60-point game, and it's going to be a blowout. And if it stays close, he's going to dominate. So I will have Giannis. He's sitting right at projected 61 points tonight. That's too many raw points to pass up. So I do like the DiVincenzo just as a little contrarian off the Buddy Hield, because Buddy Hield could go 0 for 9 from 3. That could happen. So I will switch up a little bit, but I will definitely have some DiVincenzo and Giannis. Maybe some Middleton with that small forward, because small forward is so weak. So I wouldn't mind Middleton also.
Yeah, I can't blame you guys for looking Giannis's way. Like I said, a lot of people seem to like him tonight. I'm going to be someone who stays clear. Not because I think it's a bad play, just, because it's someone I'm going to fade the night, and hopefully he doesn't do good. Because I'm a little scared of a blowout, to be honest with you. Looking at the next one, we got OKC at New Orleans. New Orleans is -8. Over-under is 213.5. This is, again, one of the games that's tied for the lowest over-under, that in Utah with the Knicks. For my notes, I have poop, because honestly, that's what this game is. I'm not looking at Horford. Baisley is expensive. Not looking at George Hill. SGA, I'll consider. Price is coming down. Still hasn't hit that point mark, but maybe this is the game where it happens. New Orleans side, if you want to go Lonzo Ball for GPP, I can understand that. I think you can do a little bit better. Bledsoe's probably my favorite play in this game. Again, you were talking about Buddy Hield. If you want to do a pivot, I think Bledsoe is a fine pivot. It's a low over-under. I'm not sure this is a game you want too much exposure to. Brandon Ingram, still a little too pricey for my liking. Zion Williamson, we're waiting for that breakout game. We want the consistent minutes. If you want to pivot from like Sabonis or someone like that, or pay up a little bit more from John Collins, I can understand, but I personally would be having Sabonis and Collins over Zion tonight. I mean, if it fits, it fits, but I wouldn't go out of your way to try to make money, free up money while you're building your lineup to get Zion Williamson in there. Do either of you guys have any hot takes for this game, or I'll move on to the next one, because we have 3 more and we only got 10 minutes.
I have nothing from this game.
I like Ingram, but I don't know if I like him at the 8,800 mark. Yeah, no one really jumped out to me for this one, to be honest. Kind of a blah matchup.
Yeah, and if it became a blowout real quick, I mean, I don't think OKC is going to roll over, but they're just someone to – I don't have my finger on the pulse with them yet. They're a hard team to understand.
I could see this game being like 43-35 at halftime, or something like that.
Yeah, and if you have a lineup stacked, you'd puke.
And New Orleans last year, in the past couple of years, even with Anthony Davis, they've been always a pace-up team. Van Gundy's got them playing like he had Orlando playing. They are not pushing the ball. They're playing good defense. They're running their offense. So like I said, I'm across this game completely off. I like to do that. This game, I'm not going to have any exposure from this game.
I'm with you guys on that. I just think it's a pretty shitty game to have exposure to. We'll look at the next one here. We got Toronto at Phoenix. Phoenix is -3. The over-under on this one is 219.5. Toronto's struggling, and I expect Phoenix to win this game. I would probably take them at -3. Kyle Lowry said it himself. They have no swag on offense, or their team has no swag in general right now. Siakam, his price is dropping, but I'm still not going to him because he's not looked good. Norman Powell hasn't looked that great. OG, I'm not looking at him. I know he always has 40, 50-point upside. I'm not that confident in him tonight. Van Fleet is probably the only guy I'm looking at, or maybe Kyle Lowry for cash games. And on the Phoenix side, I think Devin Booker's price has dropped, so you can consider him. Bridges looks okay, maybe cash game, and then DeAndre Ayton finally coming alive. So maybe fire up DeAndre Ayton a couple. I think we can do real good at center tonight, maybe a little better than Ayton, but I do like Ayton's price. I'll start with you, Gordon. Who do you like in Toronto, Phoenix, if anybody?
Nobody. I don't believe in Toronto. I don't like Siakam's game. Those prices are different. Boucher's another one that got moved to power forward. I know the spread's -3 Phoenix, but I could see Phoenix come out and beating the crap out of them. Another game I'm probably going to cross off. If I take anybody, it would probably be Ayton from Phoenix. But other than that, this is a cross-off game for me.
All right, how about you, Beto?
I guess I'm a little more bullish on the Raptors tonight. I think they're going to kind of bounce back. To what extent, I'm not sure. I could see Lowry having a big game. You mentioned Boucher or Boucher. I don't know how to pronounce it.
I go with Boucher. I have no idea if I'm right. But
on the other end of it, Phoenix, a pretty low price. Now, granted, you could lay an absolute egg with this guy, granted. But Jay Crowder at 4,400, averaging just over 20 fan points per game. Last time out, 30 minutes, just had 11.4 points against the Clippers, but he's had, 30-point performances in the past. He's someone, that's definitely not a primary or even secondary, tertiary option for the Suns, but I could see him kind of doing the nitty-gritty, being just enough relevant. And it's just the price, really. The 4,400 kind of sticks out to me if you just need to fill a spot. Crowder's somebody that I like. And then Devin Booker on the other end of things, 7,600. I think he could get cooking early tonight against the Raptors at home.
Yeah, I mean, there's eventually going to be value on Toronto because if they keep playing this way, the prices are going to go down on the players. And then if Siakam or somebody turns it around and they start getting their swag, there's going to be value on this team. I think OG, if his price keeps going down, eventually he's going to be one of my favorite guys to target because I think he has incredible upside. But Van Fleet, for me, still someone you can play tonight. He's got a 50 burger 2 nights in a row. So the price, I know it's up there, but it looks good. Anyone else from this game, guys? Or we want to go to the next one? All right, the next one, this is the big one, baby. Chicago at Sacramento. Sacramento is -7, and the over-under is 228.5. I love just about everybody in this game except for Bagley. Like, I could pretty much go to any starter for Chicago or Sacramento with confidence. This is the second-pace team against the 11th-pace team. It's going to be a fast game, high-scoring. Gordon, I'm going to flick it over to you because I know you like a lot of guys in this game. So who are you playing? Who do you want exposure to?
I'm going to be a huge Chicago fan until those players are priced up. Kobe White, Zach LaVine. Otto Porter will probably be in every single one of my lineups. He had 13 rebounds yesterday, 5,600. If his shots fall and he's a good defender, he can get a couple steals. I'm going to stack this game. I like Porter. I like Thad Young. I like Wendell Carter. On the other side, I like Buddy Hield a lot. He's sitting at 5,200. I already talked about him. He's going to see most of my lineups with a little DiVincenzo. I like the Aaron Fox. The only person that pisses me off is Marvin Bagley.
Yeah.
He's the only what if for this game. You could have your lineup and he could sink it just because he could go 1-8, or he can kill it because he can go 18-12. He's just been so wildly inconsistent. I don't really know even what to think of that team.
Yeah, Marvin Bagley's been a huge
on that team is what I meant to say.
Shades of Jahlil Okafor for Bagley. He's not there yet, but it's growing more and more concerning every month, really, with him. I agree with you though that Porter is really tantalizing tonight at 5,600, averaging close to 30 a game for FanDuel points. I mean, yeah, the pacing. Even someone like Harrison Barnes for Sacramento at 6,100. He's had a 40 FanDuel point night just a couple games ago against Houston. He's been over 30 for 4 straight games. I could see him kind of going off tonight at home. That's a name, 6,100, depending if you're comfortable with the price range. But yeah, what's the over-under for this one, Ty?
Over-under is 228.5. So that's about, I think it's good for the third highest over-under on the slate.
Yeah, it's a big number. Wouldn't shock me if they surpassed it.
Me neither. this is two teams that haven't played that great a defense, especially Chicago, and I like fast-paced teams. I mean, that's what you want to target in FanDuel. So when two fast teams play each other, it's either incredibly sloppy or incredibly fun to watch. So I like this one. I also like Sacramento to win it because Chicago's coming off a back-to-back. And next time we do this, I'll make sure that we get all of our sportsbook and like game predictions instead of just DFS. But we had to kick it into another gear here because we had 11 games.
Big
3 opinions, but hey, we got one more. Let's finish it up here strong. We got Clippers -2.5 at Golden State, over under 230. Paul George, game time decision. I'm not quite sure if he's been ruled out or in yet. What's surprising is Kawhi Leonard is playing on a back-to-back. He is for sure playing. We know what happened last night with Paul George out. You had Patrick Beverley popping off. You had Nicholas Batum popping off. So maybe guys you want to go back to, if you want a box score chase, maybe – they're going to have to rely on them. Luke Kennard, 3,900. If you want to pivot off of Dotson, looking for someone to pay for around the same price. I'll kick it over to Gordon. Gordon, who are you looking at in this game? Is there anyone you like?
If Kawhi's playing, I'm going to go with that. Paul George is not going to play. So Kawhi will see a lot of my lineups, especially at that price tag. I would definitely have a lot of exposure to him. Golden State side, Steph Curry's price is too steep for me. I like other players cheaper, so I'll be steering clear of this game. Really, besides Kawhi, I don't know. I had Ibaka last night, and that was so frustrating to watch. I had him in the lineup. I had him player props. Very frustrating watching him last night. So even on a back-to-back, he's a little bit older. I'm going to steer clear of him. The only person I'm taking is Kawhi. He may have something to prove on a back-to-back to show that he actually can play back-to-backs.
Nick Batum, if you play season long and he's on the wire, go grab him now. I know he's injury prone, but he is definitely coming into his own again for a Clippers team. It's kind of wild how Charlotte, I know he was a little bit injury prone the last couple of years, but they kind of just let him go for nothing. And at 4,400, I know it's a back-to-back, but he's someone I'd be comfortable rolling out there tonight for the Clippers. And then Patrick Beverley too. I know that's always a risk rolling Beverley. He had a big game against the Spurs last night. 3,800 if you need to fill a position at point guard. And I agree. Curry at 10,000, a little bit too rich for my blood, going even as good of a player, obviously, as he is, and the chip on the shoulder he has. But should be an entertaining game, kind of like the old guard, new guard between the Clips and the Warriors. That's definitely what I'm going to be lasered in on late at night.
Yeah, this should be an exciting game. It's a good game to cap the night off with. I'm excited for it. I think there's good value in this game as well. I think Kelly Oubre sticks out at 5,300. I know it's 659, so this advice really doesn't do anyone good, but just to have it on record. Oubre look good. I probably wouldn't play Wiseman. You have what's the guy's name that I hate on Golden State? Draymond Green. Draymond Green at 5,100. I think it's worth a look. Eventually he's going to hit 30, 35. The minutes are ramping up. This will be a fast-paced game, so I don't think Draymond's a bad play here. Curry, I agree. The price is getting up there, but I think until he cools off, it's warranted. So if you're going to play Westbrook, I think you also have to consider someone like Curry, especially in a game like this with the game flow. That's in his favor for his type of play. Let's see here. Paul George, if he's out, I mean, I think Kawhi Leonard's automatic. Zubac's coming in as someone who's one of the best value plays, but I don't know if I'm going that route. But hey, it's 7 o'clock. This one was cut really close.
If anybody else is listening, what I'm doing, I have a couple lineups that are the same, and I'm gonna wait to see if players get rolled out or not. I have some money to move around, so that's one thing to do on a slate that's big, especially when there's a lot of points at Chicago's Sacramento game. So if you have Paul George in lineup and he gets ruled out, you could put a Bean in there. So that's, I know we talked about that before, but that's something I'm going to be doing tonight. Is I have a couple lineups I'm going to be sitting on and just seeing what happens if players get ruled out moving forward.
Well, alrighty.
No one's probably listening because they all got the games on already.
Everyone's like, "Fuck these guys! My lineups are set." Hey, maybe next time for 11 game slate, what we'll do is we'll start at 5:30. That way,
Ben Simmons coming at 12% owned.
Ben Simmons.
We could go a little bit earlier. I think that might help out. We got some news though that happened during lock, which is always fun to break down.
Yeah, I mean that the biggest thing is doing this going up to tip off, so we can tell everybody, you know, hey, if this guy plays, go this route.
Reggie Bullock is starting.
That was expected. In my opinion.
Burks out. Burks is out.
I know that he was game time decision too. I mean, that doesn't matter.
I should have mentioned something on that. But hey, for all you that are still watching, we really appreciate you stopping by. If you enjoyed the video, hit like, please subscribe, and go ahead and, you know, drop a comment in there. Ask us any season-long DFS or sportsbook questions. We'd be more than happy to answer. But until next time, we'll be here tomorrow. We're going to be breaking down the NBA slate. But till next time, good luck on your lineups and have a great night. Peace.